Hi guys, so I'm back and I've actually got a stable environment to put my camera on. I have a review video that is long awaited, even though the book just came out like last month. Everybody's already done their review on this certain book and I have finally read it. And the book I am talking about is Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. And so this is the first book in the Dark Artifices series trilogy, which takes place 5 years after the last events of City of Heavenly Fire. As you can see, I sort of have all these little tabby things, and they're like sort of my notes, my favorite parts, my favorite quotes, my favorite lines, etc. I will explain those to you in a minute. Now, I've been waiting for this book to come out for a little bit now because who would not want to complete their collection of Cassandra Clare books, as you can tell. So I am going to review this book for you guys in a non-spoilery section and a spoilery section. So this is a non-spoilery section. So feel free to stay if you haven't read the book. So pretty much it's just a continuation of the series sort of, but with all new characters. We follow two parabatai, Emma and Julian, and they live in the Los Angeles Institute with the Blackthorn family, which is Julian's family. And so basically that's all I can really say about this book because there's a lot of stuff that would spoil. But so I'm just going to say goodbye to all the spoiler people who don't want it and the non-spoiler people. So bye! And now I will get into the little tabby things that I explained earlier. So basically my tabs kind of are color coded, kind of are not, because I kind of just randomly put them in there at different points. So I'm going to start with green since it's the first one that I used, where they mention different characters from the different series. Like the first one that I have, they actually mention Clary and Jace, how they were sort of a love story. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna just, do this. And then the next one that I have that's different color is yellow, if I can get to the yellow. Yellow is pretty much where they talk about Simon and Clary and how they became parabatai after Simon didn't become a vampire anymore. And how he kind of went to the Shadowhunter Academy, which I still haven't read, but I'm still gonna, read this anyway. Then the next one that we have is red, which pretty much is my favorite line from that section or that page. And then we've got blue, and blue is where they bring up again other characters, but this time it had to do with Alec and Magnus, and I'm not gonna say what because it gave me feels. And then we've got orange, which just brings up the Silent Brothers and the sisters, the Iron Sisters, or and pretty much that's what it's. So pretty much that is like the overview of all of my little processing tip things. But I'm going to give this book, I think I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars because Cassandra Clare just does such a really good writing with this series, and she does well to include not only people from the other series but also things from modern day. Like now in this series, the Shadowhunters have cell phones and laptops, and in the TV show, they're in a stage where they're making the Shadowhunters use technology in the Mortal Instruments series, and they don't really do that. So I think they sort of got some ideas from this book, but I'm still not approving the series, which their video on, mind you. After pretty much I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars, and that it was actually a pretty good installment of this series that will be coming up, and it made me want to read the next one, which is the Dark Artifices Lady Midnight review. So yes, this was my review. It was pretty quick because I don't know what else to say about it because there's so many feels in this book. At one point I started crying, like physically crying. Like I wasn't crying in my head, I was like crying. And in like the part after It was the part after, like, the whole story. And she included a little short story with Clary and Jace, but it involves Simon and Isabel and Magnus and Alec too. And let me just say, in this story, Malik has a child. They adopted a child and they named him Max, which initially gave me feels, because we all know, if you've read this series, that Max is dead because of Sebastian Morgenstern. And then they named their kid after him. That made me cry because that just made me think, Max. Let me see how much I get over books. But anyway, the part in that little section, well, there was many parts in that section that made me have feels. But in that section, they were going to adopt another child, and they were going to name it Raphael Santiago Lightwood. I'm just like, no! You can't just name things, people out of... That's how much I can describe this to you. So yes, that was my feels. But a review for Lady Midnight, and I hope you enjoyed. And now, you'll probably... Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you all later. Bye!